Now, selling your own property can be a very daunting task, but it can save you tens of thousands of dollars by doing it yourself. Now, Emily and I have sold our own properties over the last few years, and I'm going to share with you my thoughts and insights of how you can do this too, and again, save yourself thousands. Now, last year, Emily and I worked on a flip project in Aspley on the north side of Brisbane, and we sold that property completely ourselves. Now, even though I run a buyer's agency, we sold that as owners, as homeowners. And we've actually just sold the Baby Queenslander, which is our investment property on the north side of Brisbane. So I'm going to walk you through exactly how we listed the property online, the steps we took to maximize the sale price, and give you some tips and tricks along the way. All right. Let's get selling. So the first step you need to do is research and prepare your property for sale. Now for Emily and I, with 25 Leach Street at Everton Park, which is our investment property, and the Baby Queenslander up here on the YouTube series, we had tenants in our property. Now we wanted to vacate those tenants at the end of their lease to stage the home for sale. If we'd sold the property tenanted, we would have reduced our buyer pool significantly because roughly around 70% of buyers are owner-occupiers and 30% of buyers are investors in the Australian market. So to appeal to 100% of buyers out there, we wanted to stage the property for sale, have the property vacant, so we took vacant possession from the current tenants, and then put the property on the market. And that's exactly what we did. We actually initially offered to the tenants to get them to vacate earlier than their current lease date. We offered them several $1,000 to vacate earlier, and that would allow us to put the property on the market earlier and then receive the funds from sale quicker. In our case, they actually denied our request for them to leave early and decided to stay to their end of the lease, which they're well entitled to do. But once the lease is up, you're able to take the property back and then essentially prepare it for sale. So once the tenants had vacated, let's get ready for staging. Now we used a company called Sell in Style, and for $2,700 or $2,700, we were able to stage the home completely in preparation for sale. Now the great thing about Sell in Style is they come out to the property, they walk through the home with you, they take a bunch of photos, and then they do all the design work for you. You don't have to think about it, thank goodness, because I definitely wouldn't be the best person to design the place for staging, but they did all the hard work. They went through, they brought all the furniture in, and to allow them to do that, we actually just put a lockbox on site. So this is something you can do when you're selling. Once the property's vacant and you're ready to have trades and stages come through the home, put a lockbox on site and they can get access anytime. The other thing we did to prepare for sale is we had the full exterior of the property pressure washed. Now, we used a pressure hire company called the Pressure Clean Guys. I found them by scouring a bunch of Google reviews and getting a couple of quotes. Now, their pricing was spot on. They charge us $660 to pressure clean the exterior of the home and the pathways around the property. So the Pressure Clean Guys were nice and affordable. I left them a 5-star review because we were really happy with the property, and it made the home look a lot better in preparation for sale. So you've vacated the property, you've got it staged for sale, you've cleaned it up as much as you need to. In our case, we didn't want to spend too much money renovating the property. We knew other people who were going to buy the home were going to knock it down, they were going to extend it, they were going to do some major renovations in the near future. From our point of view, it didn't make sense to spend more money. So look at your own property and do your analysis as to whether it makes sense to do some minor cosmetic renovations. Now, there are some circumstances where it does make sense to give the property a lick of paint and update the carpets and update the kitchens and bathrooms, but you've got to look at it on a case-by-case basis. And this leads me into your next point, which is your analysis on pricing the property. Now, Emily and I used a property website called Property Now to sell the property ourselves as homeowners. And so what you can do is you can jump onto this website and you can log into your own account and put up your very own listing. So I'm going to walk you through ours now. Now, this is the home screen you're going to see when you've got a property listed up on Property Now's website. You can see here it's 25 Leach Street in Everton Park. We've confirmed by giving a rates notice that this is our property and it's actually under offer at the moment. And I'm excited to share with you guys the detailed numbers of what we sold the property for, all of the expenses, and the net profit that we've made in selling the investment property, including the tax effect as well for Emily and I, and how we're going to use the funds going forward. So make sure you subscribe to see that in a future video. But we paid $829, as you can see here, to set up this listing online, and it's listed on domain and realestate.com. So I'm going to walk you through the listing process with Property Now. So you can see at the top here that it gives you an order of process to list the property. You need to provide the details, the features, the price, photos, description, contact, inspections, and listing enhancements. So we've listed this property as a house on 607 square meters. We didn't provide the house area because it is a 2-bedroom home, and we didn't want to put that up online, so we decided to leave that blank. It is a 2-bedroom home with a living area, 2 bathrooms, no en-suites, and 2 toilets, and 1 garage spot. It's an established property, and this is all you need to do throughout the process, is fill out the form, tick the things that apply. Now, when it comes to pricing strategy, this is a really interesting thing to look at. For us, we listed without a price. So you can put a hidden price up here in this first section, and then you can put no price in the second section. Now for us, we were willing to sell the property to the highest buyer essentially, and so we wanted as many people who were looking in Everton Park to see the home. So we were willing to look at any offers over $800,000. Now there was no point putting a price on the property because we might have capped the limit the property would have sold for. Say we put the price as, yep, $850,000, we'll take that. Then we might have capped getting prices in the 900,000s or even the mid to high 900,000s where the property had a large number of offers. So for us, we put a low listing price, anything that we were willing to accept. So people who were looking at 800K plus were in the ballpark to look at the property. And we listed the property as best offers by a closing date. Now we actually closed a lot earlier than that closing date because we got an unconditional offer. And there were some tricks around how we were able to achieve that. Now, once the property did go under offer, we changed this to under offer. So that updated online on the real estate and domain listings. Now, it's really important to get great photos. Once you've gone to the effort of vacating the property, staging it, tidying it up, now it's time to pay $300 for a professional photographer to go through and give you some fantastic photos. We used a company called Wiles Photography. Really great guy, really easy to work with, couple $100 for you to get your photos. And he actually did the flip project for us in Aspley last year. Now it's important to pick a hero shot that gives a really good look and feel of your property. And then we ordered the photos in chronological order as we saw fit, based on what we liked in terms of the photos we received. It's then important to put a relevant description for your property. So for us, we put a charming post-war home ripe to move in, extend, raise, or redevelop. So with our marketing campaign, we were looking to get as many people interested in the property as possible. People who wanted to buy in a great area in Everton Park, just 7 kilometers north of Brisbane CBD. People who wanted to do an extension down the track, or maybe wanted to raise the property in the near future, or knock it down and rebuild because the property was built in the 1950s. We also used Gemini or AI to help us write some of this description and then tidied it up as we needed to and put that in place so we were happy with how the property was listed for sale. We then put our contact details on here. So I used my company details at Purpose Property for access to emails and things like that. We then had the open home inspection times you uploaded onto this website and then they updated onto real estate and domain. Now finally, you can pay for a whole heap of extra features, but for us, we just took the basic online listing, paid the $890, ended up on real estate and domain, which we're super happy with. The big things you can pay for are features. You can pay for these ones down here, like a feature listing or a highlight or a premier listing for $6,500. In my opinion, everyone's going to look at properties from new estate listed, and it doesn't matter whether it's a big icon or a little icon, people are still going to be looking for those properties in my opinion. So it didn't make sense for us to spend that extra money, $1,000 to $6,000 to get a bigger listing or a bigger photo on domainandrealestate.com. So we just went with the standard listing for our sale. Now you've done all the hard work, you've listed it online, you've used all the steps in Property Now to bring your property up and prepare it for sale. Let's show you the end product and what it looked like on realestate.com. So here's what the property looks like online. You can see here it's 25 Lee Street at Everton Park, Queensland 4053. It's a 2-bed, 2-bath, 1-car home on 607 square meters. And we can quickly go through the photos together here. So this was the living space, well staged, using the right furniture to make the space feel big, but also cozy at the same time. We've got a front shot of the home with its nice couple of gables and a very basic yard. The kitchen, which we'd renovated ourselves. You've got that living space shot, which makes it feel a bit larger as well by looking back across the room. Again, another shot of the living space with the nice cornices up high. The bedroom is oversized in this home. That master bedroom is very large with the closet. And then the second bedroom as well. And the bathroom, which we updated. And if you want to see a walkthrough, we did a recent video walking through the property so you can see it in a lot more detail if you click the card over here. We also put a floor plan up online, which I think is critical because a lot of people do their research based on floor plans and what they want to do with the property down the track. Now you can see here the property has a laundry room and an extra toilet, which is under the one roof line, but a step down. It's a multi-level at the property, but a lot of people were looking at this for future development, extensions, renovations, so it made sense to provide a nice clear floor plan. So this is exactly what you end up with the end product online, and then people can see your inspection times a little bit down below. If you do have inspection times available or open homes, then people can come and register for those and essentially come through the property based on the times that you set. So for our circumstances, we decided to set open homes at 10:15 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. The reason we picked those times on a Saturday was because we thought the most people would come through around that time on a Saturday morning. 10:15 is a good time because if you do get some early birds, they'll try and come through the property at 10 a.m. on the dot. And if you do get some late people, they'll rock up around 10:45 and you can wrap up and close the property by 11. Now, this is where a lot of people get scared and want to pay a selling agent to do the work. It's the contracts, it's the negotiations. Now, this stuff isn't rocket science. What you really need to do is have a chat with a solicitor who does property sales all the time, get a basic contract drafted. In Queensland, the REIQ contract is the gold standard. And so get a basic contract drafted by a solicitor with your details as the seller and essentially preparing the property for sale. Make sure you've got smoke alarms in place, make sure you've done your other checks and balances, and then your contract is all drafted. For us, we actually used a Google Drive. The great thing about the Google Drive is we were able to share a building and pest report, which removed clauses from the contracts when people were making offers to add in an extra building and pest clause. We also gave a copy of the contract for sale. We gave a flood report, a development report, a few other reports in there that would allow people to make a quick decision and a strong decision on wanting to offer on our investment property. So essentially what I did is I stood at the front door, welcomed people through the home, took their name and mobile number, and then sent them the Google Drive link to make an offer on the property when they were ready. We also had the flyers at the property, which had a QR code set up by Bitly, which is an online website, as well as some basic marketing, and all of that was done in Canva. Now, when it comes to negotiating, we were looking at the best offers. So based on the offers we received, we started to give price feedback to people on the ground, and that was somewhere in the $900,000 mark based on the offers we received after we listed the property up online for sale. So as people came through the open home, we gave them a rough guide that we had received some offers in the 900s, and that's where we were looking to sell the property. We essentially received a large amount of offers in the first week and were able to close the property after that point in terms of the sale. Now, the great thing about this process and this strategy is you can follow this too. You can go back to the start of the video and follow the steps when it comes to selling your own home or your own investment property. It doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be hard negotiating. People will want to ask questions. And who knows the property better than you if you're the owner, rather than a selling agent who's just come in at the final hurdle and tried to take a 20, 30 grand fee out of you for selling the property online. In my opinion, I think more people should potentially cut out selling agents. I think they get paid probably a bit too much money. 20, 30 grand for having one open home and closing it that weekend is a lot of money. I mean, you can do this. Let's look at it this way. If you try and sell the property yourself and you're unsuccessful, you can hand the listing over to a local selling agent who can then sell the property for you and you can pay their commission. So I've actually sold 4 to 5 properties using this method over the last 5 years, and I encourage you to give it a go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Would you ever not use a selling agent to sell a property? I can't wait to share with you the final episode in this series for the Baby Queenslander, breaking down the sale and what we plan to do with the funds next. I'm excited to show you all the numbers, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, and head over to purposeproperty.com.au if you're looking for a Brisbane-based buyer's agent to help you buy your own home or an investment property. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.